Atiku's ticket is already starred. There's no how the presidency will be leaving the north, Katsina State, where Yaradua came from. After Yaradua, Jonathan spent some days, some months on about 2 years again, 4 years again. Then Buhari came in again from the same Katsina. And you want the same presidency to remain in the north after 8 years of President Muhammadu Buhari.
Richard, no, I recall before now, you've always been an advocate of anyone competence. You've never been an advocate of ethnicity,
not at
tradition,
all. I have been
or religion.
I've been not issue of a religion. I am not an advocate of a religion.
But you know, you're talking about
I'm not an advocate
region.
of ethnic politics, but I am an advocate of equity, justice, for equity and justice. Nigeria has been running the system like north and south. North and south. Governance is about inclusiveness and democracy. Once you deny the masses the feeling that they are part of the system, you are indirectly calling for I can't make take it to be disintegration. You are indirectly calling for disunity.
So are you saying that the Benue people feel marginalized?
Benue, we can't. There's no how we will say. I will say Benue State to feel marginalized. We are part of the north, but we've not been president since Nigeria came on board.
In the words of Abijat Naskar, who is one of the world's famous neuroscientists and an unretiring advocate of global harmony and peace, he once said, "Religion was the opium for the masses of yesterday. Politics is the opium for the masses of today." Absolutely spot on. Now let's see how all of this quote actually relates to what we will be discussing today. Very warm greetings and welcome to The Conversation. We're reaching you from Kaftan's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. Of course, I'm Annabelle Oji. Ado is actually a local government area in Benue State and is mainly occupied by Idoma people and shares boundary with the Ishielu and Ohauku local government areas of Ebonyi State. Ado local government of Benue State is located in the town of Igumale, which is on the southern senatorial zone of the state, consisting the communities and towns of Iga, Igede, Ijibam, Ikpokon, Ogbi, Oleku, Osabo, Osipo, Osipo, Oturupo, Abisoya, and Achibila. They are vastly known for cultivation of crops, especially in producing big tubers of yam, fresh and sweet palm wine, and they also have rice, cassava, maize, and palm oil. They are also rich in agricultural soil, most especially in the Ajila area. It is also known for its rich agricultural soil, especially in the Ajila area. They are best known for the large arm-sized yam tubers that they produce, as well as the abundance of ready-to-drop ripe orange or orange trees and sweet palm wine. Limestone, among other resources, is also found in Ado local government. So, I'm sure you're wondering if this is a documentary on Ado local government in Benue State. No, it's not. Today, we turn our attention away from the national and subnational matters straight to the provincial and regional matters with our guest on the show today, Richard Oriri. He is a political journalist and SDP House of Assembly candidate representing Ado local government in Benue State. We would like to hear from him to see and know more about the rich Ado local government and their culture. I'm sure you want to listen to this. Stay tuned. If you just joined us, this is The Conversation. We're reaching you from Kaftan's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. All right, so like I said before, we're turning our attention away from the national and sub-national matters as we're going straight to Ado local government area to get some information about their culture. And then our guest on the show today is Richard Oriri. He is a political journalist and he is now a politician. Good to have you on the show.
It's my pleasure.
Great. All right, now before we talk about...
You're looking so gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. You look good too.
Thank
you look like a politician in the making. All right, before we go straight to what I'm talking about Ado, let's talk about youth in politics. Before now, we keep hearing that youth are the future leaders of tomorrow. Now, with regards to what are your thoughts with regards to the Not Too Young to Run Act and the clamor for youth inclusion in politics or in decision making, aside the political part of it and then the paperwork, back to reality or reality check? Is it really youth o'clock?
Thank you very much. This question is a very, very important one. The Not Too Young to Run Act, which is an act of the parliament that was signed into law by President Muhammad Buhari, truly is very nice, but there is still problem in it. It is nice in the sense that the age limit placed on the youth before now, if you are below the age of 40, you are not eligible to contest for National Assembly election. And if you are below the age of 30, you are not eligible to contest for the position of a status of assembly before now. But now that barrier has been broken. But reducing the age limit from that 40 downward is still not enough. What about the financial aspect of it? You know, in politics, you cannot succeed in politics, especially in Africa, in Nigeria in particular, without finance. If you look at what happened around May, June this year, when all political parties started conducting primaries awaiting the general election in 2023, APC, the All Progressive Congress, sold the form for presidential election for 100 million naira. PDP sold for like about 40 million naira. And if you look very critically, you will see that no youth within the range of 25 years to 30 were able to even purchase the form. And that is a very serious barrier again. If they can reduce the age limit from 40 downwards, then from 30 downwards.
But you have some other youth that actually purchased the form, like I recall Jack Rich, that he was a youth at the point, and he also purchased the form.
I overheard Jack Rich shouting all over the media, calling on the youth to supporting him, to enable him buying the form, calling for contribution. Where would that contribution come from? Where is Jack Rich today? Even if you are able to buy the form, if you can cough out 100 million naira to buy a PC presidential form, where will you have the money to push yourself in for the primary election? The opportunity, the means is not there. And if you go through the primary election, at which you are not even sure of winning, because the system is already positioned for the elite class. So it's transition is a transactional, basically. So for the fact that even if you pass through the hurdles of a primary election after purchasing the form, maybe at the end your money will be in vain. And that was what basically made some youth to even pull out of the race. And today, if you look at APC, all the people that contested for the primary of APC, they are all government officials, like people like Rotimi Amechi, somebody like former governor of Akwa Ibom State, former governor of Akwa Ibom State and current minister for Niger Data Affairs,
Senator Godswill Akpabio,
and some other persons. They are all government officials who use government money to purchasing the form. And how many of these youths have the opportunity to find their way in into government.
Do you actually have evidence to show that they use the government money to purchase the form?
To purchase the form. They use government fund to purchase the form. Public fund. They use public fund to purchase the form.
Since you don't have any
even
evidence,
the minister for education, state for education, almost all the people that contested for presidential primary under APC, they are government officials serving cabinet members, majority of them. So how many of the youth you see there? And if you come to PDP, the same thing. Most of them are people who have stolen public funds from the past. Ex-governors, ex-senate presidents like Bukola Saraki and too many other of them. So it's a very serious barrier. And the youth in politics, the act that have been signed, I think is good, but only the age limit that was reduced is still not enough.
So you're saying that they actually paid youth lip service?
Serious lip service.
All right. So what, because I know that you're actually going into politics, we'll definitely talk more about that. But what is it like for you? Are there future or are there hope for the youth that are coming into politics, even from 2023 down to 2027 and then beyond?
See, there's any ray of hope? There's so much hope. There's so much hope for the youth. You see, majority of the youth, they were being carried away by some of their political leaders who are in these so-called major parties, who deceived them not to leaving them in their own major parties to joining the other minority parties, as so to say, as in to picking the form and running for public offices. Majority of them made that mistake because they made a mistake not knowing that the electoral act will be signed into law. And the moment the electoral act was signed into law, you see most youths started joining other political parties to stand as candidates for election. And like in my political party now, which is SDP have the highest number of youths running for public offices. And by the grace of God, coming 2023, you will see miracle happening in Nigeria on that SDP platform.
All right, so that we're still talking about the youth inclusion in politics. A lot of people have actually come out to say that the youths are not ready. When you give the youths either a position, they always want to take their chances. They always want to even override that position that you've given to them. So they're not ready. And then they keep counting how many youths you already have in one ministry or in one department or the other, and yet they're not delivering. So what are your thoughts on that? Is it still, to you, is it still really youth o'clock?
It's youth o'clock. Most of the youth who have been given the opportunity are not making use of the opportunities. They are not patriotic youths. And we have good number of youths in the country that are so patriotic, who understands their civic responsibilities. And the moment we have such a number of youth coming into politics in their good numbers, that is when you see changes. And this blame on the youth not being ready will vanish. Then truly, if you look at majority or some of the system, the current system we have, like if you go to the police department, if you go to DSS, if you go to even the military, you see majority of them are youth. If you go to the Nigerian Defense Academy today in NDA, they don't admit less than the 20 or 21 years into the institution.
Don't you think it's because they inculcate discipline on these people? That's why they just run with it. Unlike the political space, where you already know that you see someone who has done something wrong, and then there's no punishment or there are no punitive measures. So you just want to walk in that.
If the military have that discipline, what about the police? What about the immigration? What about correctional service, which is prison? We have youth in their good numbers in all these departments of government, and they are doing very well, exceedingly well. If they are not performing their duty, I don't think we will be here talking. The security of the country will overrun everybody, and you and I cannot sit here to talk. It's the youth who are performing their duties in their various departments. If you go to the military, they are there. Like if you go to the Navy now, they are in the high sea, protecting the waterways. The Air Force, they are there performing their duty. The land armies, they are everywhere. Go to Maiduguri. Outside what they are doing, there's no how we will be here talking. Even the military now, they have even shifted their ground to assisting the internal security department, which is police, civil defense, and other paramilitary. So anybody saying that the youths are not ready, the Nigerian youths, they are there assisting in the protection, defense of the country, which is one of the basic responsibilities of every citizen.
But then why do you still have the same youth? Always, they said they've been told that they're the future leaders of tomorrow, but yet you still see most of them, they are the ones that are always campaigning or even pushing for the older generations to come into power. When you ask them, what is good for the goose, is it not good for the gander also? And they tell you that, okay, no, that we are not ready. Let the older generations, they're the ones that know how to do it better. Let them go and set the pace.
It's still the same thing I have said before. It's the barrier placed on the youth from the angle of finance. Every election needs funding. So they have no other means to survive than following this elite class. And some of them who have perpetuated themselves in that habit, they are the ones running after the elite class. Majority of other youth who know what they want and who know the country they want to have, they are no longer following the elite class. They have taken their way outside that angle. And if you come to SDP, you will see majority of such youth in SDP. Today, SDP have the highest number of candidates running for office, more than any other political party apart from APC and PDP in Nigeria. SDP have the highest number of candidates running for office. I don't think there's no state in Nigeria, out of the 36 states in Nigeria, that we don't have candidates running for governor. A majority of them, they are youth. The 109 senatorial district in Nigeria will have candidates running for Senate in all. And in the 360 House of Representatives office seat in this country, we have candidates running for all the positions. And in all the 36 states House of Assembly, we have candidates run. I am a candidate for State House of Assembly or Ado State constituency in Benue State. So the same thing applicable to most other states that will have candidates running for offices. So, and 99.9% of these people running for these offices, they are youth. So the idea of pushing the blame to youth, that the youth, they are running after this elite class. In these major political parties, they are there. And they are the weaker ones. The weaker ones, in this, the ones who don't have direction. They only follow money. And they are the ones pushing for these elders to still continue perpetuating themselves in power. But by the grace of God, they will all be disappointed coming 2023.
All right, so I understand that you are not quite popular in the political arena, and then we always know that you've been a journalist before now, and later before we got to know that you've declared your intentions to become go into partisan politics. So what is your mission in politics?
Let me correct this impression that Richard Oriri is not quite popular. I started politics right from when I was in secondary school. I rose from my JSS from JSS 1. I was the class prefect in my JSS 1 to JSS 3. When I got to Form 4, I was the timekeeper of the entire secondary school, government secondary school. I was the timekeeper, the regulator of the school. Going to my Form 5, I was to be appointed the senior prefect of the school. But my age, I was too small then. So it became serious battle among the staff.
But all of this are school politics. We're talking about mainstream politics.
I am giving you the background of myself. So it became very serious problem among the staff of the school. until I was called by the school principal to be advised that this is what is going on among us because of you. Majority of the staff said it must be you. Why some said you are too small? Please, we will give you deputy head boy. It was because of me that we got to know what was called deputy head boy. If not, the nomenclature was assistant head boy. But from my time, it became deputy head boy. And he explained it to me. So after that, I went to the university. In my second year, I became the first non-indigenous to be elected Assistant Secretary General in my faculty, the largest faculty in Benue State University, Faculty of Education, Political Science Education. Faculty of Education, I was elected Assistant Secretary General. Second year, I contested that position with third year students, and I gave a very strong gap. So after my university, I went to service, and after my service in 2011, January 2011, I finished my service January 11, 2010. 2011, on the 17th, I was appointed secretary to my local government, where I performed excellently.
Are you the one that is going to give yourself the rating?
I performed. Since then, no secretary to my local government has broken my record in the local government. And today that I am running for this office to be their mouthpiece at the state assembly, they are very happy that somebody like me is coming to represent them.
Okay.
And as an opposition person, as an opposition candidate in the local government today, both PDP, APC candidate, they are jittering already.
Oh, interesting. I'm sure you understand what I mean when I say not unpopular in politics. But then let's leave that aside and answer the question. What exactly is your mission in politics?
My mission in politics is to come and change the narrative.
What is the narrative?
The
currently?
narrative, there are too many. Like what has been happening in Nigerian politics, the people that have been going into public office, they are going there to serve their personal interests, not the interests of the masses. I am in the game now. My major mission is to serve the masses, service to the masses. If you check India, if you have done any research about India and China today, they practice the best democracy in the world, outside America and Britain. The political party called Admin Party in India, their ideology is geared towards the masses. And if you go to China today, they were the most poorest people. Even India were the most poorest people. But the central point of their interest presently is not about the elite. It's not about ethnic. It's not about religion. It's not about tribe. But it's about the nation, which is human capital development. My mission in politics is to give public service equitably to everyone that is a citizen, and not somebody that is my brother, and not somebody that is my sister, and not somebody that is my uncle. The way it is being played now, we don't have moral people who have morality in the system presently. So those of us coming in, that is why I decided to leave PDP where I was before, to join in SDP, because going through the manifesto of SDP, you see it very clearly. Very, very, very clearly.
As if you know what I was going to ask you next, because I was going to ask you, because I knew that you were in PDP, so then you now crossed to SDP.
Yes.
What exactly was the reason why you made that move? Did SDP promise you something better than what you were getting from the PDP?
No. Joining or belonging to any political party is a matter of choice. And that choice will be made from your assessment of the party's manifesto.
Now, you talked about ideologies. Are you saying that your ideology was different from what the party has?
I joined the ideology of PDP that made me to join the party before. Is not what they are practicing. I have Being in PDP, from 1999, I was in PDP. All through this period, I've been in PDP. And the ideology that I thought they will work in line with year in, year out, they are deviating from what the party manifesto is saying.
And then it took you over 10 years to realize that.
Yes, because I don't want to be somebody that is not a politician, that is not consistent. And coming now, I have gone through the manifesto of SDP. And the manifesto of SDP show clearly that SDP is for the masses. And if you look at Nigeria today, the clamor is government should be run in line with the thinking of the people, the feeling of the people, the pulse, feeling the pulse of the people. But both PDP and APC, the way the managers of government policies in these political parties, they are running the system, is completely against the masses. And I cannot be in a system that is against the masses. There can be no Nigeria today without you and I, without the masses. And if we are given the opportunity to lead, there's germane, very pure in your, it should be very pure in your heart that what you are going to do, you are going there to serve, to give service, not to serve yourself, but to serve the masses. But in the case of Nigeria, especially APC and PDP currently, the service is to the elite. While the poor masses, they are there, dying, languishing in pain. And that is what I am in politics to change.
The SDP's service is to the people.
It's to the people, eliminating poverty. Our ideology is geared towards Section 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You understand?
All right. So now, since we're talking about PDP and APC, now you will be contesting with the power blocks, the big names. That's the APC, the PDPs. That when you talk about that we all know in political party, and then even though it is the same party that you supported, that's the PDP, what are the chances for SDP to take over power in Benue State come 2023, both in the governorship elections and in the National Assembly elections? Is Benue State ready to go the SDP way after so many years of having the power blocks in the area?
Benue State, as we speak, they are very ready, willing, and passionate to stand in with SDP in the coming election. The reason is very clear. If you are a journalist, you must have heard the governor of Benue State saying different things on different occasions about the national election, especially the presidency, confusing himself. He is a member of PDP. Presently in Benue, Benue entirely, they against same-faith ticket. Benue voters entirely, they are not in support of the presidency going to the north again. So, the next alternative party in Benue State is SDP. Presently, the next alternative party in Benue State is SDP. Shetima Tinubu ticket has been starred already in Benue. And Atiku's ticket is already starred. There's no how the presidency will be leaving the north, Katsina State, where Yaradua came from. After Yaradua, Jonathan spent some days, some months on about 2 years again, 4 years again. Then Buhari came in again from the same Katsina. And you want the same presidency to remain in the north after 8 years of President Muhammadu Buhari.
Richard, no, I recall before now, you've always been an advocate of anyone competence. You've never been an advocate of ethnicity, tradition,
I have been
or religion.
I've been not issue of a religion. I am not an advocate of a religion.
But you know, you're talking about
I'm not an advocate
region.
of ethnic politics, but I am an advocate of equity, justice, for equity and justice. Nigeria has been running the system like north and south. North and south. Governance is about inclusiveness and democracy. Once you deny the masses the feeling that they are part of the system, you are indirectly calling for I can't take it to be disintegration. You are indirectly calling for disunity.
So are you saying that the Benue people feel marginalized?
Benue, we can't. There's no how we will say. I will say Benue State feel marginalized. We are part of the North, but we've not been president since Nigeria came on board. Nobody has become president of this country since Nigeria. We are part of the North. We are from the Benue belong to the North Central, and North Central, Northeast, and Northwest. This is what we call North. And if you go to the South, South, Southeast, and Southwest, that is what we call South. Anybody from South, Southeast, Southwest can become the president in 2023. But reversing this presidency to the North again, Benue State, they are completely out of it. And going down to my own constituency, which is at the local government per se, I was born in the Ijigban district, Ehaje clan, to be precise. In Ado local government, my primary school was in Ijigban, St. Mary Primary School, Ijigban Center 1. I went to government secondary school, a nearby community in Ado. And my university was in Ebonyi, where I used bike from my community to go to school. So I know the terrain. In Ado local government today, before you join, you join the ring to say you want to represent your people, you must have seen the problem around your constituency, around your people. I am a product of public school. In Ado, we have 10 political wards. And in these 10 political wards, put together, we have 157 polling units. And this 157 polling units, just less than 9 to 10% have felt dividends of democracy. And the local government today have the worst road network in the country. In the entire local government today, there's no place you will confidently take your child to for school, for basic education, except you have the means to take them out of the local government to another place, like a place like Otukpo or Makodi, to acquire basic education. Basic education in that local government today is completely gone, zero. So even the secondary school where I finished from, government secondary school like GSS, it's all grasses now. Nothing again exists in that place.
So what will be your primary focus for the other people?
For the other people, my primary focus is to bring governance to them as their mouthpiece. Maybe the people that have been representing us, they don't present the problem on the floor of the house. And in legislation, you have to have the capacity, the ability to influence other members to buy into your demands on the floor of the house before it will go. You have the ability to blend with either commissioners and other executive members that will assist you in taking development to your constituency. You have to have the ability to relate in with the chief executive, which is the governor. Maybe the past representative of my constituency, they don't have that ability, and that could be the reason we don't have one sign of development in the local government. I don't know, but if I go, I will do it differently.
What if the governor that comes in to Benue State, what if he's not from your party? How do you intend to create that synergy?
Once I win my election, and once he or she wins his or her election and become governor, what we are after is governance and not party. The moment I win my election, everything about election will go behind me. The next phase of my agenda will be governance. What do we do? Not just for other people again, but for entire Benue State. It's for both of us to synergize, think on what to do to better the life of Benue people.
All right.
which in my interest, I will always put Ado first in everything I do, in any negotiation, in anything at all that I get myself involved in on behalf of other people as their mouthpiece. There is no how I will not put the interests of my people first. And like some of these local roads, primary schools, health centers, I can confidently say that community health centers in the entire 10 wards of other local government, no one is functioning anymore. Especially in my ward, in my district where I come from, Ijuban, community health center is dead. If you go to the community health center, what you cannot even find paracetamol. It's all over the entire local government. So bad to that level.
Okay, so now we're actually due for a break, but before we go on that break, you've actually reeled out the problems, the underlying problems in your constituency. Now, aside being a politician, you don't have to be a politician to make a change. So aside being a politician, what have you done for the adult people before now? Because you see a lot of people, when they just go into humanitarian activities, they just want to take pictures and then keep it for when they want to go into politics. So aside all of these problems that you've rolled out, which of them have you been able to solve for the adult people before now that you're going into elections?
Thank you very much. Before I became secretary to adult local government, from student department, from student angle to NYSC, after NYSC, I was appointed secretary. When I became secretary to adult local government, my impress was 130,000 naira. When I saw the problem around the entire local government, my impress, it was supposed to be meant for buying of viral paper, tissue, and other things for my office. But I dedicated, even with my salary. Salary was 167,700 and something naira. I dedicated my impress and my salary to other people. The chief protocol officer to the local government is still there, Mr. Gowon Obande. I can give you his phone number. You call and confirm from him. My PA, when I was secretary to ADO, he just retired. When I went home for my brother's burial, he came to console me. He told me that he has retired. My PA, Ochulai, he's from Ulai district. He's there. I can give you his phone number.
So aside what you've done then, presently, we are trying to cut our time. So aside what you've done then, presently, what have you done for other people that they should look back on and say, okay, we've seen this tangible thing? I have done more than enough.
I have done more than enough. As secretary first, I secure admission, because the only thing that will bridge this gap of inequality in our local communities is to give education to the younger ones who are coming up. I channel my energy towards that direction. In Benue State University, I engage myself with this VC then. No time that Benue State University will be giving admission that I will not secure admission for adult youth, up to 10, 15 persons. Any list I submit to the VC, the list goes. I broker that chain. I broke that chain of inequality in admission in Benue State University, because most of the times they will come and complain that other local government will be giving higher number of they call it, was it catchment area, or how do they even put it in admission something, but adult people will be denied admission. I went in and I broker a relationship, good relationship with the VC, and I secured that session. So
you're one of those people who have one orga at the top that helps people to get
no, I don't have one. I as the representative of the people, I went to the university, straight to the VC. This is the problem from my local government, and I want it resolved. And he resolved it amicably, without anything running, any exchange of money or anything between me and him. I presented the matter, and he confidently resolved the matter for me. Outside that, I was able to put roof on the houses, on the heads of some other elders and women. I call them, I target that time senior citizens. There are some of them who have retired from civil service, are in the village. They don't have people taking care of them. I was going around taking care of them. The aged women, I will send to Kaduna for wrapper, then go around the world sharing wrappers to them. Okay. Elderly women, very aged women. Rappers. So I've done a lot. And if you go to other local government now and ask of Richard Oriri, what has he done? They will give you testimonies.
Let's go on a quick break. When we return, we'll continue this conversation with Richard Oriri. I will see you shortly. Let's talk about security in Benue State, with the burgeoning state of the farmer herder clashes and the issues around banditry. Why exactly is that still a festering issue? And again, what kind of interventions will you put up to ameliorate that menace?
The problem there is about governance. You know, if you have bad leaders, who don't consider the interests of both parties, now both farmers and herders, they are under the leadership of the state. And if farmers and herders are having clashes because of one reason or the other, and the state want to intervene, the state is coming in as a mediator because the both are your own.
If you just joined us, this is The Conversation. We are reaching you from Kaftan's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. We've actually gone far, but then you can still join us. Our guest on the show today is Richard Oriri. He is a politician. He is the SDP House of Assembly candidate representing Ado constituency in Benue State. All right, before we went on that break, I've actually talked about a lot of things. Now that you are contesting to become the House of Assembly member representing Ado local government area, what are your propositions? What are the policies, the bills that you have lined up to sponsor? Because the truth is that most Nigerians are more interested in who becomes the next president of the country, but they are not interested in who becomes their representative, either in the House of Assembly or in the Senate House, which is more critical. So what are the bills, the policies that you've already lined up to sponsor?
Thank you. You know, as a legislator to be, the role of a legislator is lawmaking. And in lawmaking, from that department, that is from that section of government, we have the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. That department, basically, public policy is being generated from the assembly. Public policy is generated from the assembly. Once public policy is generated from the assembly, the executive stand for implementing the policies. And these public policies is what normally they convert to law making and some acts of legislation. And I will be driven, my policies and programs will be driven by what I see from my people. My communication with the people I represent will tell me the type of bills to present in the house, because there's no how I will go to the house and present bill that is not in the interest of my people.
Okay, since you've already seen their problems, do you have any ones you've lined out?
I have just told you about education. We don't have basic education presently in other local government. And we definitely present bill that we call that challenge in my local government and in the entire Benue State. I told you again about community health issue. All these basic social services that is in the section 2 of the Federal Constitution of Nigeria are things that will drive my passion for my legislative activities. And in Ado, we have them enormous. We have security issue in presently in my local government and in the entire country. We have a agric problem. Farmers, most farmers don't have access to their farms again because of security, and some of them who have the means to even go to their farms, they don't have the financial wherewithal to go about farming. Yes, in Benue State, we don't have the challenge, the problem of a bad soil. We have good soil all around Benue State. We don't even need fertilizer to grow anything at all in Benue State.
That's why they're the food basket of the nation.
That's why we are food basket of the nation. Not just because of that we are food basket of the nation. Almost all Nigerian soil, if you go to the southeast, they have good soil for agric, but not most of them have the passion for farming. Majority of the southeasterners, what they like mostly is business, where they will make that quick money, not waiting for 1 year before your farm produce will be done, then you take to market to get something. Their own is business, selling, buying and selling. But in Benue, we choose that part because we know that this food chain, if you don't get involved in food production, the way and manner that the population of Nigeria is going, it will be very difficult to control many things if we have challenge in the area of food production. So in Ado, we have, I've told you about the road network, I've told you about agric, I've told you about health, water. There's no part of other local government that you will even find good common borehole. And most of the borehole around Ado were sunk by UN, United Nations, this Guinea worm for Guinea worm eradication. But some of these boreholes have collapsed, spoiled. Even to reactivate them, it's a problem, but even for the government of the state. These boreholes were not drilled by the government, but foreign agencies. But today, you can't go to any political world in Ado and you see water. Water is something that is basic, that is basic necessity of every human being, and is the responsibility of government to provide these basic social services for the citizens. But in Ado, we don't have. So those are things that will push me passionately to preparing my bill and presenting them in a way and manner that other members of the House will see that, yes, this bill presented by this our colleague is a bill that will help all of us in the entire state. There's no bill I will present in the House that will not be something affecting my people, my constituency, and equally affecting other section of the state. Because if you present something, if you present a bill that is just to deal with your problem alone and not considering the other section of the state, they are having the same problem with you, it will be difficult for you to get it passed in the House. So I have all these itemized already that if I go to the House, it will be very easy for me to get it done because there are things that borders all of us in Benue State.
Now, speaking of consistency, speaking of going the whole 9 yards, and then bearing in mind that you're not so quite popular in politics, and then you're ready for, okay, I'm going to ask you, how ready are you for whatever the power blocks or might actually throw at you in terms of in politics and all? Like they say, I'm trying to avoid using that word. Politics is a dirty game because we always have people that will come in and wash it up. So whatever that politics throws at you, how ready are you to take all of them hook, line, sinker?
Politics throw at me as how?
Because you have the power blocks right there. Yes. And then you are coming in with SDP, and then PDP is the incumbent there. You have APC that have been there all along. So now you are coming in with SDP rather, that is not quite popular for the Benue State people, not to talk of the other people. So whatever it is that politics throw at you, are you ready to receive it in terms of the failures, in terms of the backlashes? Because we've seen how much political parties keep backlashing themselves, and then we keep hearing of words and words. How ready are you to take anything that comes right to you?
I am ready for all of that. And as a public servant, first thing you should consider is that if you have taken yourself to serve the public, you have decided to accepting both insults, You have decided to accept criticism, because without criticism, there's no how you will even sit proper to think that what you are doing it wrongly. This is the direction you have to go. If I would not be the type of politician that they will be singing praises of me without criticizing me to enable me sit proper. Okay. And in the system, I was with PDP. I know their game. I don't have the financial strength now to fighting them financially, but I have the people. I have the masses. Even before the conversation starts, you see that I was answering a call. They are in a meeting now in a particular village in my constituency about my election. Both elders, youth, and women, they are in the meeting. They called me from the meeting. So they have passionately decided that this time we are going for Richard. They have tested me in so many ways. Community service, like youth department, putting ourselves together to constructing community roads, community bridges. We don't have concrete bridges across my place. What we do is community effort. And in doing this community effort, we will contribute money, put money together. Most of the times I put money, I contribute the highest. Then we look for operators, people who use machine to saw wood. They will saw this wood, pieces it for us, and we call our local engineers, construct local bridges for the use of the communities. All this I committed myself to it so much that, and anytime we are having security issue, like on Wednesday after my brother's burial, there is this security challenge facing at the local government presently. It is an influx of challenge from Benue State. Effium and Eza, they are having problem in Ohuku local government in Effium, Benue State. But it has metamorphosed, or how do I put it? It has jumped into other local government, especially in my own zone, other zone B. So I called for a meeting comprising Eza community, the general youth of Eza, 3 other youth, the chief of Eza as a whole in that zone, then Effium chief, youth, and others, then Apa, Akpogo, Bulolo, Ijigba, and Anulai youth. I called them together to see how we put an end to this insecurity ravaging the community. These are things that they have seen that, yes, this is the type of leader we want. And that is why they are all rallying around me to say that with money, without money, we are voting for Richard.
I was actually going to ask you
the conclusion
how
presently.
How close you are to your constituents, and then what kind of support are you getting, especially from the youth of your local government? The support
is so, in fact, at times I ask myself, what have I done for these people so much that they are so passionate about my this ambition? They are not taking the election to be Richard running for this office. They have taken it to say they are the one running for the office. They are going all out every time, every minute in putting arrangements together. Now we know PDP style. PDP style in every election. They will make arrangement. If it is two policemen that they are sending to every police unit, PDP will make arrangement for each police 10,000 naira. As they make arrangement for their own agent, if they are paying their agent 10,000, if PDP have 2 agents in every police unit and they are paying them 20,000, they will make arrangement for other opposition political parties' agents. And they will make arrangement for, like, if they are paying their own agent 20,000, they will pay the other opposition agent 10,000 naira.
What are they paying this money
for? They are doing that to see that they co-opt the other agent to joining forces with their own agents and manipulate the election in their own favor. I know the style they use in winning
How did
election.
You know the style? Because like they say, it takes one to know one.
Yes, I know the style because, like in my ward, the money meant every political ward, they will send the general money to the local government. Like if it is a 15 million naira that is sent to the local government by PDP now, all the stakeholders, all of us from the various communities, we will sit in one place and arrange how much go to every ward. The one going to my ward, they will itemize it. 20,000 for agent, 2 agent, 40,000 times the 14 poly unit before in my ward. Now we have 20 poly unit. The money will be counted that way. 10,000 for police, then times the total number of police units, the number of police. They will gather the money like that and give to you. And as you go, you have to disburse this money accordingly.
Are you saying that they're bribing even the security officials?
No. You are assisting just to say, buy water.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So it is tagged as water.
For you to buy water, yes.
Interesting.
So we know the style already. And that we know the style, there is no political party that is a number one party without the masses in making you number one. It is the voters, the electorate in Ado, that have made this PDP, APC to be what they are. And it's this same electorate that have taken the decision now that they are tired of this party. And now they are not going for party, they are going for personality. Who are you contesting for this position? That is what we are doing in Ado today.
All right, now we know that a lot of people, especially the youth, they often feel disaffected when it comes to elections, even though you see them running around the politicians during campaigns and electioneering process. So as a youth, what are you doing to galvanize that sector or that group of people so that they can actually come out en masse to put their thumbs where their mouth is come 2023 and vote for you?
Here is not the right place for me to open up my strategies. We have our strategies like 2021, March 2021. I have a very tentative meeting with all my supporters across the polling unit in my local government. Then the increase in polling unit was not that the new creation of there's a new creation of polling units. We have new polling unit in addition to the former one. Before then, I don't have 139 polling units, but today I don't have 157 polling units. There's an increase. That time, 33 persons, 33 mobilizers, polling unit mobilizers for me in March 2021. I called for a meeting of 33 persons times the 39 polling units. And all of us will converge in my community. And we reasoned together. That was when I tentatively made my intention known to them that I was going to contest for House of Assembly and that we are not going to run the election under APC or PDP. 2021 March. So, and all of them, they bought the idea because every one of them, they are dissatisfied with the party, with PDP and APC already. All of us, we are not happy with the way and manner that they are going about governance in the country, especially in Ado and Benue State. So, in terms of mobilization, local mobilization, we are number one political party in Ado presently in terms of local mobilization. We are doing it silently. We are not doing it flamboyantly because we don't have the means. In every polling unit, we have members who meet twice a month. In some polling units, they meet once a month. In some polling, they meet 3 times a month, depending on how convenient it is for them. Okay. Because I allow them to take that decision themselves. But it is compulsory that they must be meeting. And they have been meeting. And again, we're recruiting other people who who like the idea and who like the person contesting the election and who like the party that they are all galvanizing this support for. And they are doing it quietly and we are succeeding. In fact, the result is marvelous. All
right, so we'll try to manage our time. Now let's talk about, because you talked about security or insecurity. Now let's talk about security in Benue State with the burgeoning state of the farmer herder clashes and the issues around banditry. Why exactly is that still a festering issue? And again, what kind of interventions will you put up to ameliorate that menace?
The problem there is about governance. You know, if you have bad leaders, who don't consider the interests of both parties. Now, both farmers and herders, they are under the leadership of the state. And if farmers and herders are having clashes because of one reason or the other, and the state want to intervene, the state is coming in as a mediator because the both are your own. And you cannot just come and take a stand in favor of one against the other. And as a mediator, Currently I'm doing my master's in peace, conflict, and strategic studies. And as a mediator, you are not supposed to be seen to be biased. So if farmers and herders are having clashes, the best thing for you to do is to come in as a neutral body. Government is not supposed to be serving one interest against the other interest. You put all interests together. It's a win-win situation. Make sure that you put this interest on the table, put this interest on the table. All of you sit together and then negotiate what goes to who and what goes. So if I go in, what is currently happening in Benue State, I will present it on the floor of the House. How to manage this crisis in a way and manner that both herders and farmers, we have equal opportunity, we have equal feeling that the state is for both of them. If the other one is saying that the state is not for me, the state is against me, there's no how there will be peace. And that is what is currently going on in Benue State. That will not happen in my time. And I will definitely relate with the governor very well, effectively well, that the governor will listen, will see to my reasons and see that, yes, this issue have to be in this form. And everything will become
Even as we begin to round up, now we know that Benue State is the nation's acclaimed food basket because of its rich agricultural produce, which includes yam, rice, beans, cassava, sweet potato, maize, soya beans, sorghum, millet, fish, sesame seed, and cocoyam, amongst others. And then the states account for over 70% of Nigeria's soya bean production. But yet, there have been reports of poverty and predictions of food scarcity in 2023 when that's when you might be getting in or into the government house in Benue State. Now, Benue State should be living up to that moniker of food basket of the nation. But then you should be exporting. That the state should be exporting and managing their resources, at least to serve a greater part of the Nigerian population, and not destroying oranges like we actually saw some months ago. They should be. They should have things that they can be doing in order to important things that they can do in order to create jobs and then revenue for the state. Now, I believe that some of these policies are some of the policies that you should have at hand, or you should intend to work with when you go into the government house. So do you agree with all of this? Do you have any policies that you're putting it down in terms of helping your state as a whole in terms with the food basket and then harnessing what you have?
Thank you. Yes, we have it. What makes farming to be very easy is first human capital. That is human strength, the personalities involved. Before now, like when our fathers were doing the farming business, majority of them, as they give birth to children, they equally train their children in the line on that line. But presently, in the whole of the north, Benue have the highest number of degree holders in the north. If you come to Zone C, that is the dormant session. Zone C
what are the parameters that made you to make such statement?
That is the truth. That is the truth. Benue will have the highest number of degree holders in the north. And if you come to Zone C, that is the dormers, we have the highest number of professors, I can say, in the entire north. Zone C have the highest number of professors. What I will do if I come into government is that we need to encourage these our younger ones who are coming out of universities to come into agriculture, because majority of them that have not they don't have the sense of they don't have that direct direction of say farming is good anymore. Every one of them that graduate from the university after NYSC, they shift to Abuja, shift to Lagos, to other parts of
But are you aware that some other countries have actually shifted from agriculture and farming to food production? They're no longer using the regular farming ways, and they now go technology, digital. They're no longer using the local ways.
That is where government will come in. If I go as a legislator, I will present it on the floor of the House. I told you earlier, in my agric agenda, what I will do is to ensure that government make available either tractors or some of these farm implements that will enable them to go into farming in a commercial basis, not in a subsistence level.
All right.
So, but presently, the few ones who are in the agri sector, they are doing it subsistently, and in doing that, they are very few, because and some of them, they are retired civil servants who don't have any other means of surviving, that are going into farming, and what they do is to farm little to feed themselves. If they want money, they will take out of what they have produced to take to the local market and get money out of it. But once you inject this young graduate into it by the assistance of government, assisting them, subsidizing it for them, it will be very good, and Benue will bounce back again to its normal state of food basket of the nation.
Now, lastly, before we let you go, we've seen a lot of our politicians who were journalists and then they returned back to the profession for the love of the job. Now, will you be coming back to this side of the divide later on, or that's to camera rolling action? Is that, or is just politics now?
Journalism is a very perfect profession, and I love it. What I am going to, where I am now, the politics that I am in now, if I succeed, is just to give service to the people, just the way I've been giving service to Nigerians through journalism. And if I finish that from there, politics is not a profession. It's something that you check in and you check out.
Okay.
The best
even though they say power corrupts.
My basic profession is journalism. If my people employ me to serve them in this angle of legislation, then after the service, after 4 years, and after the 4 years, they say, you do well, we still want you to go again. If I go for the second, the moment I finish, I will still come back to my
power corrupt, absolute power corrupt.
Profession.
You don't have any intentions to go to the House of Representatives, governorship, presidency, anytime in future.
Except the people decide.
All right.
If they decide so, I will oblige.
Thank you so much, Richard Oriri. It's been a wonderful time having this talk with you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
All right, viewers, that's all we can take for today. We have been chatting with Richard Oriri. He is the candidate for SDP representing Ado constituency in Benue State. And it's been a wonderful time here on The Conversation. Keep watching The Conversation, because you never know who my next guest will be and what my next topic will be all about. Till I come your way again from the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Annabelle Oji. God bless you and yours. And God bless Nigeria.